What's up, everybody? It's the NFT Circus. We are back, and today we have DanishCrypto and a very special guest, Gnome, coming from Dynamics of Hegemony and also the UX Network, which is something really new and interesting. We're going to be talking about that. It is part of what did you say? It was a clone of the Antelope or a
fork?
It's a fork of it. Fork of it. And so it is attached to EOS and Wax, and later on, I think they are going to be doing some fun stuff, I think, with NFTs and their game. So we're going to be talking about that. Before we get going, though, some really incredible news. We just hit 1,000 subscribers today. We just did it.
Yeah.
So we got finally to 1,000 subscribers. So that's super cool. I'm going to put up the $sign Morbs here, guys. So if you are in the YouTube chat, go ahead and type in $sign Morbs, and we will be giving away some NFTs. And I think the first one I'll give away, we got lots of steak to give away. Let's do a Drawn Company special edition burger, startup edition burger here. We're going to give this one away right off the bat, dude. So if you haven't already entered in your thing, let's see who's going to get it out of the few people that entered yet. Let's see. Bitcoin, crypto, and freedom. You have won the Drawn Company startup edition burger box. So thank you. And that's to start it off. We got 1,000 subscribers, guys. Let's look at this game we are talking about with Gnome. It is called Dynamics of Hegemony. I'm going to put the link into the YouTube chat. Feel free to go check it out and learn a little bit more. Gnome, tell us a little bit about this. Tell us about how this came about. You are on the UX Network. Explain a little of that as well, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe a bit of background. I'm a software developer. I've been working most of my life in actually investment banking, finance. More recently, in the last decade, I've been working in crypto and blockchain. And I've been a gamer since forever, since I was a kid. Never really thought of making a video game until recently. But as I met with Lisa, who some of you may know, Lisa convinced me to build a game, and I was already kind of contemplating the idea, and I thought, why not make a game on a blockchain? I know blockchain. I've been in that space for a while, so I decided to get to work and came up with the concept for Dynamics of Hegemony, or DOH for short.
Yep.
Which is a economic and political simulation set in a sci-fi universe. And it really is a game that probably will feel familiar to people that have played games like Civilization, like grand strategy games, mostly the ones known, the ones coming from the Paradox Interactive company. I don't know if some of you are familiar with this, but this is essentially a company that came up with some of the best titles, I think, in that genre, such as Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, Stellaris, and quite a few more.
Nice.
So essentially, I thought it was a really good idea to kind of marry blockchain tokenomics and decentralized governance with these kind of long-term grand strategy games. So this is basically the result, DOH.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And so what is the gameplay going to be like in the end when you guys have this finalized?
Well, so I don't know if I can share my screen. Maybe I can.
You can. Yeah, you can. You should be able to share it, and I'll pop it up on screen for you.
Perfect. So let's see. Okay, so maybe it's that.
There we go. I think we got it. Yep, there you go.
Okay, excellent. So this is actually the current playtest that we're running. We're running this playtest number 6. So it's the 6th one that we're currently running. That's the first one that we actually opened to the public. And we have about like 63 players
Nice.
right now that I've registered and have been playing.
Right up there and
Yep.
tile 1.
Yeah. Danish is here. And I think you're with me. Huh? You're in the Empire, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there you are. That's you here, right there. so it's a strategy game where I mean, like many strategy game, it's kind of a, let's call it like a map painting contest where you have various factions that are trying to get control of a map, and they do so by essentially taking control over the various styles, and then like creating like harvesting resources, creating weapons and armies and vehicles and spaceships and things of the sort, and then essentially competing with the other factions for
Nice.
like strategic resources and for land and riches and
Nice.
all of that fun stuff. So in that playtest, what we did is we created these four factions: the red, Telonian Empire; the blue, Confederacy of Orion; the green, Alliance of Omega; and then the purple, the fifth, Dominion. And all these factions are essentially at war, or at least at the beginning, and they essentially compete for hegemony, for control over the space and everything. So we have a number of planets that are built in the game, and then we have a space map that connects the planet together. We essentially the players collaborate to create a production and an industry capacity, if you want. They harvest resources like minerals, like food. They create various objects, various vehicles, various weapons, and so on and so forth. So you can basically like see here an example of these things that you can build. So you essentially gather the resources, you build stuff, then you equip your troops, and you march to victory, and you try to crush your enemies. So that's a tried and tested game type, and people love it. So this is kind of the general idea. It's less about the graphics. We're more interested in the strategy and economic aspects of all of this. The game also features a pretty interesting logistics and crafting subsystem where everything exists as a resource on the map, has to be carried somewhere else. So you mine stuff, and it exists on the map. You have to take it, put it in, say, a truck, and then move it somewhere else, and then use it there to craft iron bars, and then take the iron bars and turn them into weapons or engines or things of the sort, and then create more and more things. So it's essentially a multi-level crafting system.
Gorbomir is asking, is it a PvE or only a PvP?
It's only PvP at the moment, but we're thinking about adding PvE elements, because it would be actually quite cool, like to have some, let's say, like neutral factions or NPCs that are roaming around.
Sure.
that can attack you, and you have to defend against them. So we're thinking about something like that, like adding some PvE elements. For now, it's only like PvP. These are the four factions. They're all at war. They're trying to
so question, can people start to play on this test that you guys are doing, or how does that work? Are you waiting for a drop date for people to be included? How's that going to all work out?
So this playtest is still very early. Like this is kind of I guess like a simplified version of the game, a demo if you want. And we're essentially planning to conduct more of these playtests leading up to the release of the full game, for which we don't really have a date yet. But the playtests are still quite enjoyable, at least from the engagement metrics that we've observed and from the feedback that we've gotten from our players. So we're going to conduct more and more of these playtests, and with a higher number of players every time. So people are very welcome to go to dynamicsofhegemony.com and join the waiting list. And,
great.
They will get an invite in the next playtest or soon after.
Now, is this PC or mobile or Unix, Mac? Is this Commodore 64? How do you play this game?
It's web-based, and
you have to come online,
main supported on PC, but it is possible to play from a mobile.
Oh, nice.
I have been doing so when on the go, because there is something. It's not easy to do, but it is working.
Yeah, we're definitely planning to add better support for mobile. It was built originally, and our intent was to build a desktop game, but in the browser. So we decided not to use any of the like Unity or Unreal Engine and
Sure.
engines like that. We decided to use Phaser, which is a browser-based engine. So that makes it a bit easier also to build like I guess a version of the game for mobile, which we're also going to be providing at some point.
Very cool. And now, to start playing, like even on the playtest, would they need any sort of pieces, NFTs, anything to enter the game, or is that still yet to come? How's that going?
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. So this playtest, as I said, was the first public one. So essentially, we reached out to some friends. We added some people from communities that had some overlap and with others that are close to us. And the idea is that once that playtest ends, which is going to be in 6 days from now, it ends on October 6th. At that point, we transition into something that we call the meta game. And the meta game is essentially the setup, if you want, for the next playtest. So every player that has participated in this current playtest is earning our in-game currency called TCN. So this is the amount that you see at the top here. Everyone is earning that token as they play, and then they can spend that token during the meta game to purchase some things or to bid on some things. One of which is what's called a faction invite. So they can essentially get an invitation that they can give to someone to join their faction. So the players themselves decide who is going to be joining next. Anyone can join the waiting list, and the players that are currently playing can very well give these invites to the people on the waiting list. But at the end of the day, they choose who is going to be invited next. And this is how we're planning to grow this community. Invite only, but with quite a few invites available.
Well, that's great. That's great. Okay, so now the TCN in-game token, that would just be all in-game. You are part of the US network. Would this eventually be on a DEX as well that you're going to be able to trade and swap?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
How does that all work out? And what DEX would that be on for people to know? Because I know that this is UX Network.
Mm-hmm. So on UX Network, we have a DEX called Utility X, which is essentially currently right now on Utility X you can trade EOS, WAX, the UX tokens, and the Telos token as well. So essentially, when we launch the TCN token on the DEX, we will be adding a new pool where the TCN token is going to be tradable. Probably, definitely against TLM, which is the Alien Worlds token, and against USDT as well. So
jump in fast?
Yeah, for sure.
Many might not know this, but GNOME here is also the main developer of the IBC technology bridging that we all have been so excited about on WAX and EOS and everywhere else. And that is mainly why this swap bridge is not really like Alcor or Taco, where you need to put liquidity, because those liquidity are based on the liquidities on those networks, because it's IBC bridging all of it.
Correct.
So it's kind of the ultimate utility bridge, because they don't need to do liquidity on their own.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Lisa Chandler's very happy about the TLM TCN, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. It's a dream come true. She's in heaven. So
these are we're still very early in the whole space, I guess, but this is a very important. We see IBC as a very important building block for interoperability between all of these blockchains. And at the end of the day, what's really cool about IBC is once this is deployed, now it kind of blurs the line between all of these blockchains. You have assets on WAX, NFTs or tokens. You can sell them or use them on EOS or on UX Network, and vice versa. And then it really liberates, it frees up the capital and the assets to go wherever they are useful or in demand. So that's a really, really important and very, very interesting development in the entire ecosystem.
That's really cool. And so how long has that been active, the IBC stuff? Is that active now, or is it?
Yep, it's active now. It's been released on EOS Telos and UX in January of this year.
Nice.
It's been almost 9 months. And then on Wax, I think it was activated, if I remember right, in April or in May maybe. So yeah. It's been,
and recently on Alcor and
yeah.
Very cool.
But it's been running for several months, and everything is working perfectly as expected, and everything's working great.
That's awesome. Okay, so Lisa also ask him about the beta test engagement stats.
that's also a really wonderful thing. But beforehand, I kind of also want to say a short thing, because this game is full on based on blockchain actions. So everything is on the blockchain, which for many people, like the first thing coming in is, now I need to sign 5 million transactions.
Right.
But again, they kind of fix that, because there is a possibility in here, kind of like we allow our account to be able to mint NFTs for us on the marketplaces and such. Here we can allow a contract from the game to sign actions from the contract, which means that you don't need to do all the things. Like as soon as you click move and do the eat this or use this energy, it does it. You don't need to pop up, sign anchor, and do that.
Oh, thank God.
but of course you need to set it up first.
Sure.
And it's also made with such a fine tuning that, but now if somebody opens my browser, they can just do all kind of things because it's auto-signs the game. No, because they also secured it with a browser password. So you set up a little browser password so that you log into the game, go to the game side, it pops you with remember your
you guys thinking all this stuff out. That's awesome. Okay, cool. That's a big plus, man. That's a big plus.
It definitely took my damn, that's makes it a lot more like feeling like a game suddenly.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it was absolutely necessary. We needed to have, let's say, a Web 3.0 experience, but with the feel of Web 2.0, right? Not having to sign everything and wait, and like that was part of our design philosophy. Like really make sure that the UX was good.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you need to get started? That is the big question. So what do you need? Any certain things right off the bat when you get in there? What should they look for when they're starting off? What is the main first goal? What would you give the advice to a beginner that might hop into one of these
Anchor?
Yes. Well, right now we still we require Anchor, and that's going to remain one of the wallets that we will support. Down the line, we're planning to add support for Wombat as well as for MetaMask, and we're also looking to build. I mean, we already started building our own version of the Wax Cloud Wallet, a UX Cloud Wallet, essentially, that will allow also like a really easy onboarding experience.
So when can the non-beta testers play? I think the actual release of the game. I don't think you guys have that just yet, right?
I mean, the more and more we're gonna iterate through these playtests, the more and more it's gonna start feeling like a complete game. At this stage, of course, we're still very early on. There's still a lot of things to fix, bugs, and lots of things that are out of balance. There's also not as much content as we're planning to add. There's only like a few levels of technologies, a few levels of items, of units, etc. We're planning to increase that the amount of content dramatically. But we're doing it step by step, playtest by playtest. So as we progress more and more, as we move forward, it's going to start feeling less and less like a beta, and more like the real game. Kind of a little bit like, I guess, games
building on
early
the go.
Access. I mean, if you're familiar with the Steam Early Access, for example, that's kind of what we're aiming to provide in terms of an experience where people come in and feels just like the real game. It might not be finished, but it's still absolutely playable and enjoyable. So that's what we're planning to do. Right now for this playtest, we had about I think we bumped the number of invites to about 80. 63 people out of the 80 accepted the invite. We're going to bump it to something like 250 for the next playtest, and we're going to keep increasing that limit of players until we're basically, not able
Very
to
cool.
fill the spots. So yeah.
Very cool. I think Fourth Wall Digital wants in. He's a master beta tester, so he's he's ready to
Reach
go.
out to me, Lisa Chandler, or Gnome in Telegram, and yeah, we send you all the information you need. Or go to the website and sign up for the waiting list. But the faster the more people that wants to be engaged, we could maybe get you in earlier. Like he was saying, we have some invites.
And Lisa's saying it's good just as the test. You don't even recognize it. That's a good compliment there. That's awesome.
And again, like the stuff here in crypto, like we all been talking about for years, like the feeling of you can be involved in something here is a half finished game. There allows people to come in, try it out, come with feedback, help out build and deploy the game. Like,
and one thing that's quite important is to mention is this game is we're already building it with the idea that it is going to be operated as a DAO, as a decentralized anonymous organization, where the players essentially can play the game and rise through the ranks of their respective factions, and eventually come to hold a custodian position for the game itself, essentially be one of the signatories that control the smart contracts that take the decisions on future direction of the project and everything. So we're really giving a possibility for the players to grow into a role that will have real influence in the development of the game. But we're definitely sticking around. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. But we want to also build this game with the players and take their feedback very, very close to heart and bring it to completion, to realization. We've already had quite a few of our testers that already started helping out, like running tests and helping with the documentation and helping us with finding issues and going through them on GitHub. And this is a very fun experience. We're very thrilled with our testers so far.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so good. I'm going to do a quick giveaway while we're going to switch into talking about US Network a little bit. But let me do a quick giveaway. If you haven't already, guys, put in $Morbs. And the next one up, we're going to give away a Skate Coin issue number 6 pack. Let's see who's going to get this one. And by the way, Skate Coin is making some awesome in real life skateboards. There's
yes, they
DanishCrypto, Aesthetic Monty, endless amounts. Lucas, you won the Skate Coin issue number 6. And if you guys, if you could, where is it?
In the meanwhile, that magazine is a full-on magazine with treasures inside. So for the winner, remember to open it, read it, click, and explore.
Yeah, it's 100% interactive, which is super cool. And there's lots of ads from different wax projects and other projects out there. Very cool. Go ahead and DM me on Twitter at Morbs15 with your wax ID and let me know you won it. I will send it on over to you after that. So back to Gnome. Gnome, let's talk about the UX network. So I don't know much about this. I know that it's something new, and I'd like to hear about new blockchains, man. So let me know what's going on. How did this all start? It is, you said, part of kind of a Antelope fork. So how does this all work out?
Right. So essentially, it's a UX network is built on the same software stack than like the other blockchains that you mentioned, EOS, Wax, and a few others. And we joined, we are co-founders, I guess, of something called the Antelope Coalition, which is a group of 4 blockchains. It's EOS, Wax, Telos, and UX Network. And we essentially are in the process of working on the code base, like improving the code base, adding more features, and maintaining it. It's essentially like the same software that all of these blockchains are using, and quite a few others also that are not part of that coalition, that don't necessarily participate in the maintenance or development, but they also use the same software. Other blockchains that you might be familiar with, Proton, Ultra, and a few more.
Yeah, we've had
So-
some Proton stuff on here, so yeah, we know about that.
Yeah. So UX network, essentially, what the reason why we ended up building essentially the UX network was that we realized that most of the blockchains out there have, let's say, like what I would refer to as or call a naive resource model.
Sure.
Essentially, like starting with the older blockchains like Ethereum and others, but even with blockchains like EOS and Wax, they had a number of issues with their resource models, typically because they were not very well calibrated to, let's say, the realities of the market and the realities of running this kind of infrastructure. And it led to all sorts of difficulties, let's put it this way, when it comes to the pricing and to the operation of these blockchains. Someone was asking me, why didn't you build DOH on Wax, for example? The easy answer is because Wax is too expensive to run. If you want to run, if you want to run a let's say like a professional enterprise grade infrastructure on Wax, it will cost quite literally an arm and a leg, and it's not. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Essentially, like we can probably go on and on about this for quite a while, but in a nutshell, my background in finance and in blockchain technologies, what my conclusion is that there is a price imbalance between the cost of resources and the cost of the actual hardware that people need to run.
Sure.
And that has been causing essentially all sorts of volatility and all sorts of I guess, difficulties in pricing tokens correctly. And because of that, essentially what we see right now, we see block producers struggling big time on EOS and on Wax because the token price is too low compared to the cost of running the hardware. And that kind of is a bit of a death spiral in a sense, because they have to sell more of their tokens or pushing down the price, then the price is lower, then and
it's definitely been a hard thing to see, because like Nifty blocks, NFT,
I was going to say Nifty, exactly,
or NFT Hive, and like it's not enough just running a block producer, and that's what they've been saying all along. Like, yeah, you can run a block producer and it helps, and it kind of more or less pays for itself, but you don't get paid to run a block producer.
Correct.
Right.
Like, and it's work.
It is work, and it's kind of a bit normal, I guess, as well, because at the end of the day, there are some companies, there are some teams that will literally run a block producer as a loss leader. In a sense, they will be okay losing money on that operation, so you have to compete with them. So you have to make sure that, like, and we see it, like when EOS mainnet launched, a lot of block producers came in because they saw that you could make $10,000 a day with the token price, but they realized very quickly that or other block producers realized, hey, wait a minute, I can do that for cheaper. and then this kind of race to the bottom, right? To the
it's the price doesn't. I don't want to talk about the price.
And again, right now for Wax, it looks like a great day. Like somebody didn't have time to sell off. Like we raised like 14%.
I saw that. Yeah, I got up to 5. Right, got back in the 5-cent range again. Thank God.
And then it started going down again. But again, it is a bear market, and there isn't like, again, it's just good to see that there is some. Again, builders market, that's what it is. It's where everyone really have the time and the mindset to build, because you don't care about price, you don't care about, like, it's not really well going, so let's just build to when the price becomes worth it. And or at least you learn something in the meanwhile.
So now, this is kind of a question, because a lot of people that watch us are obviously on Wax or EOS. When they need to go onto the UX network, how is that all going to work out? How will that transition? Will it just be your DEX? Would it be Alcor? How would someone go about, let's say I have Wax, I want to start playing your game, I want to get on the UX network. What would be my steps, in other words?
So I mean, of course, it's an open, permissionless blockchain, so anyone is very welcome to deploy whatever smart contracts and whatever systems that they want there. Like I said, we operate a DEX that's called UtilityX, which I'll I'll be happy to share the link.
Yeah, if you have the link, I'll pop it in there for them. So they can
yeah, for sure.
that.
And UtilityX is an AMM, automated market maker, that also has built in the IBC bridge. So users are essentially able to move tokens from, say, their EOS token from EOS to UX, or their WAX tokens from WAX to UX, and then trade them on the AMM on UX network, and then move back the other asset on the other side. So this is kind of how that technology operates. It's using IBC, and this allows for people to acquire the resources necessary to play the game.
Really cool.
And do other things, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, a UX wallet is needed, and a UX wallet can be done with EOS keys like WAX, TELUS, EOS.
Yeah.
And it can be implemented in Anchor. The mainnet is already.
Anchor, you'd recommend the Anchor for anybody out there. That'd be the
Anchor.
Easiest by far. Yeah, which I love anyway.
Yeah.
Anchor's a great wallet.
Yeah.
It is. And it works like flawlessly. Mainnet when you're getting into the test version of DOH.
Yeah.
You would need to add the testnet in Anchor. That both goes for mobile or a desktop. But to just explore UX network, a mainnet wallet is fully available.
That's great. Oh, that's really great.
And we're planning to also add support for additional wallets too. For example, I think now with Wombat and their I
was going to ask about Wombat. Yeah, is Wombat going to be part of this as well?
Yeah, we're planning to add Wombat support as well.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Wombat now owns Atomic Hub, so they're not going anywhere. So we'll be seeing some Wombat stuff. So that's good.
Wombat has been, again, the main wallet for EOS for years. So it's great to see that big of a business or a brand being the one taking over. And even though they had some minor mistakes with their last drop, I don't exactly know what went wrong with the Wombat drop, but they, again, did their best and in that refunded people that didn't get what they was supposed to do, and even gave them some extra bonuses on top because of the problem. So again, being on top, they are doing everything they can, and I'm glad to see that more services is gonna add Wombat login. Like a couple of years ago, people on Wax was like, "Why nobody uses Wombat?" And now, like,
so now you have to use Wombat like that.
Like, it's the easiest onboarding to Antelope because you get the EOS, Wax, and the TELUS wallet for free if you want to make it in there, and you can custom name them. And then when you get familiar with the blockchain, you can just pay and get your private keys. Hopefully UX and stuff will be added there eventually. Definitely. So
and people can also earn Wax and EOS correct through the games on Wombat. EOS or is just Wax?
EOS, Polygon or Matic, and Protocol Bitcoin.
No, they can't do that. Oh, I didn't know that.
And Wombat token, of course, but I can't remember if that's on Polygon or on Wax. But yeah. But again, they also use a swap algorithm, so you can swap all the EOS to Wax if you want to, using the IBC technology. Or so and
if you guys are making your own wallet for UX, will that just be cloud-based? You were saying it was just going to be a cloud-based wallet, right?
Right. We're planning to make a cloud-based wallet, potentially also another standalone wallet, more as a browser extension, like a Chrome extension. That's also something we're planning to do at some point. But
nice. Yeah, Wombat probably going to do more for Wax than Wax does themselves. I'm not going to lie, that might be true. That might be true. I'm not going to discount that. But that's what it is. So later mobile, like these channels goes on. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Okay, so we got UtilityX.io. Go check that out. I'm going to put that again into the YouTube chat. Go check out that DEX. That'll be a new DEX that you'll be able to use this IBC technology, which is super cool, and start getting things all around. Now, the NFT side of Hegemony. When is that going to start, and how will you be distributing, and on what networks? Would it only be on UX? Would you have some availability on Wax where they can transfer? How would you be going about that?
So we're essentially like in the game in DOH, you have game assets. Let's call them, that's how we call them, game assets. That can be anything from like the minerals that you just harvested, or a rifle that you crafted, or a spaceship that you built. And all of these game assets can essentially be tokenized into NFTs and back from NFT into the game asset. So now the way that works essentially is you kind of take out the game asset from the game, you package it into an NFT, you put it for sale, you trade it to your friend, you do whatever you want with it. And then whoever acquires it has the option to bring it back into the game, to de-tokenize it, turn it back into a game asset, and now play with it. So this is how we're doing it. We're following also the Atomic asset standard, which is probably the most well-known, the most widely used on Antelope, and of course compatible with Atomic Hub that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And now what we're planning to do also, that's not done yet, but we definitely want to get this done, is to also incorporate these NFTs into the IBC technology, so that now we're able to also move them from one network to the other. And then, for example, if someone wants to acquire NFTs on Atomic Hub on Wax, they can do so and then move them back to UX and add them back into the game. Or if the marketplace on EOS is better, they can also go and buy or sell it there, and same thing. So this is also what we're planning to do with IBC and NFTs, integrating the two together, just like we did for the fungible tokens.
That is some great stuff to hear. Like, that was one of the things that I was afraid wouldn't happen for a long time because of our shift from simple assets to atomic assets that made that whole now we cannot just bridge the tokens and the NFTs because they were the same thing initially. But yeah, like that is some nice stuff, because we can see that all the change gets like hypes or something in different seasons, and then you can just take the NFTs and put it over to the market that has more traction at this time. And like on here, you can find assets on every market on one market, but you cannot find it on another chain. So here, like, that whole thing is amazing, and I hope that is going to be sooner than later, kind of. But yeah, it's it so far from a tester standpoint, it's been really fun. It's been like the community building of it again is currently, that's also a little bit of information to people, are currently done in Telegram, but works really well so far, and like community building, because you are a faction, you need to kind of work with your faction, or at least understand what your faction are doing, even though you don't communicate as much. At least follow what they are doing, so you're not like ruining all the plans. Try to, at least.
And we're planning to also improve on that by adding in-game. This is an idea that I had a few weeks ago, but so far people really like this idea. The idea of you as a player being able to give quests for other players to perform. So for example, if you want to build, maybe you want to build a spaceship, but building a spaceship requires a lot of materials. So now what you can do is you can give a quest. You tell people, okay, like bring me 100 minerals here, or bring me 100 iron bars, or bring me, 16 engines or 3 reactors or whatever. And then like if they bring you these things, you give them rewards. And we want to build this support in the game itself, so that helps to organize your faction and your teammates.
That could actually be really nice if like it's done with, instead of people like, oh, I'm gonna do this mission, then you set the request out, and oh, I had 2 engines, but you had 1, and Morbs had 2, and now you got all 5 that you needed. So it splits out rewards depending on how much people have put in and stuff, so people don't get cheated. So like That could be
Yeah.
really, really cool. That's a cool
Yeah.
idea. See, like,
No, I think that's going to make it quite interesting also from the social aspect, because then you have players that want to play the game 5 minutes a day, and they log in and they just look at all the quests that are available. They're like, oh yeah, I can do that one. Oh, that one is a good one. I'm going to do that. And then they can have a little bit of direction. They don't have to catch up with like 2,000 messages in the Telegram channel. But the other person that plays the game like 24/7, who's really into it and has these grand plans and like these grand strategies, they can be the ones giving out the quests and organizing all of the other players into a cohesive unit for building what they want.
yeah. To the message from Next Level Things here, it's a UX testnet wallet there is needed at the moment. So you get that by signing up for the forum and adding a public key for a new EOS key that you have created. So you try to create a new anchor key for whatever wallet, and you send that in the form, the public key, and with a username. And when you get into the game, that will be created by the team, and you get the rest of the information for testnet and all that. And more you're muted.
Oh, there you go. Hello? I don't know how I got muted. Sorry about that. I just forgot what I was just going to say. Shit, I was just saying. I was going to say, can they reach out to? Who can they reach out to for some more step-by-step type instructions on how to do that with the anchor? Is there like a tutorial or anything on how?
Yes.
There is in the invite.
We have
the invite there is.
We have a video also, and of course, if people need more assistance,
awesome.
You can reach out to the team.
Okay, you heard that here, guys. Go check out that video and sign up. That's cool. That seems really cool. This is all super cool. No, thank you so much for coming in and
my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Letting us know about this, because this is a super cool, not only a cool game, but the whole technology behind it seems really cool. I really like the fact that you would be able to take your NFTs and move them around to networks. That's good for collectors. That's good for players. There
is actually some minor things that I really also wanna fastly show off. If you like, you have the website there. Do play dot in front of the website.
Play dot.
Yeah.
Oh,
here we go.
That's simple.
Yeah. And in the bottom, in the middle, you see some icons.
Yes.
One of them is like a wiki and story base, so you can see every code thing there is happening from what is done in contract. But you can also find history of what players are doing, what they have. All the data is here. It's not as nicely shown yet. It could be done easier, but it's all the data is here. Wow. There is also like stories on where people are, who has conquered what.
If you click on labs at the bottom right, there we also essentially aggregate some in-game data, and we show leaderboards and progress over time, so you can track all the factions, how their production has been increasing or decreasing over time, who's winning, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
And now this is also, did I see open source on there as well? There was an open source part of this.
Yeah. So towards the end of that playtest, we will be open sourcing everything: smart contracts, front end, back end, everything that we have. Yeah. And it's very important for us. This is part of our philosophy as well. We want this game to be an open and iterative process. I guess by and for the community, basically.
And all this data here is not like there isn't a team setting and making sure all this is updated all the time. It's not how it's done. All this is done by algorithmically checking the blockchain actions. So your character in game has a name. That name goes into the story that he has taken over the conquest of blah 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 because of so it's all done by AI tracking algorithm that makes all the graphs, all the stats, all the live data, which is really, really amazing and like mind-blowing. With the data you see there is the nice form. In the data you shown on the other screen is all the small things that it actually is reading. So you can, it's almost already fully open source if you kind of look at it.
It's
already there.
On that. And is this the leaderboard right here, the one I'm looking at?
There's many of them, I guess, but yes. So you have like players sorted by experience level, players sorted by TCN that they have, and then like you can click landlords.
Lisa, you're third. You're asking where's the TCN leaderboard? You're third, Lisa.
You're third, yeah.
That's super cool. That's super cool, man. All right, cool. All right, well, let me do a couple more giveaways, and then I got to get out of here. I got to go open the store. But let's do a few more here. Let's do a wolf. This is a cool looking wolf. Let's do a wax wolf. Number 861. So who's going to get this one? This is for a wax wolf. Let's see who's going to get it.
We just had the full moon, so that's
that's super cool. Let's see. Michelle Gavon, you have won the Wax Wolf 861. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see to DM me on Twitter at Morris15 with your wax ID. I will send that over to you. I'll do another one real quick too. Let's see what else we can give away.
Sting. Oh.
I want a stinger? I'll give a stinger. Oh, which one? There. Let's do
number 3.
Number 3? Wait, which one? Wait, this one? This guy's so messed up. This is a good one. This is my favorite one. 752. So this guy's been beaten up a little bit, and he has Jesus coming out of his tail. So this is awesome. JRG hat is Stinger 752. Let's see who's going to get this one. Gorbamir, you won, my friend. You have won a Stinger 752. Send me your wax ID to @Morbs15. So let's round this off. So Gnome, do you want to leave us with anything? What would you like to leave the public with?
Well, looking forward to see all of you, I hope, on our next playtest, dynamicsofhegemony.com. Please subscribe and register for the next one.
Awesome. Crypto, Danish, the man, the myth, the legend. What would you like to leave us with today?
Yeah, stay positive out there, and remember, even in when times like this in the bear market seems hard, somebody out there is building because they don't really care, and that's what's carrying on this whole wave. So keep building.
Yep, I agree. Keep building, guys. Do it for yourselves and have some fun. The market will switch around at some point. We don't know when, but it will. It's just the way it goes. You know, we're just in a weird downturn. And in 2025, wax could be at $1 and UX network could be at 10. We have no idea. That's the way this cookie crumbles. So anyway, another week has gone by. We'll see you guys next time on the NFT Circus. And thank you, Noam, once again for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And Danish, as always, man. I will see you guys soon. All right. Take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Cheers. Bye-bye.